Welcome to the Cryptonomatron, guys. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, we'll be doing an ICO review on DeepCloud AI. But if this is your first time here watching the channel and you want to know more about ICOs, including my in-depth deep dive ICO review videos, then you've got to click on that subscribe button and click on that bell notification icon, and you'll get notified as soon as I upload a new ICO review and as soon as I go live. All right, guys, thanks for doing that. Let's have a look at DeepCloud AI. So what is DeepCloud AI? Well, it's an artificial intelligence-driven cloud computing infrastructure. They want to democratize and decentralize cloud computing and level the playing field for the resource providers and application developers. Now, what they intend to do is to build this artificial intelligence-driven, democratized cloud computing platform to run dApps on the back of for Internet of Things and Web 3.0 decentralized applications. Sound good? Okay, let's take a look at the competition. So the decentralized cloud computing space is quite a competitive market. There have been some successful projects launched already, not least of all the ones that are mentioned in the white paper, iExec, Golem and Sonam. There are loads out there, though. There have been several ICOs recently. Sharder is one. Another couple coming up very soon are Anchor and Uranus as well. So there's an interesting infographic comparison in the table behind me, as you can see, with who they see as their main competition, if you like. But they are quick to say that they don't want to be competitors. They want to actually complement all the different projects because they believe every project has something slightly different to offer. So that's fair enough. And they also want to be able to integrate with other existing infrastructure projects like Storj, Filecoin, etc. So in terms of how they square up against the more well-known, more established cloud, decentralized cloud infrastructure projects like Golem and Sonam, they are offering masternodes, which will be obviously quite interesting for those of you that are involved in running masternodes. So in terms of how they stack up against the more established competition, we can see that they're going to be running masternodes. They're going to be configurable nodes as well. They're going to offer software as a service, internet as a service, no fog computation, which its rivals Golem and Sonam offer, non-deterministic tasks, artificial intelligence, fair incentives, and they're also going to have a marketplace where the AI will recommend the best solution for your business or your needs. So Golem launched its Brass platform earlier this year, and we'll just take a look at the market cap and the tokenomics of Golem to give us a comparison. Now, as you can see, there's a total supply of 1 billion GNT tokens, circulating supply of about 840 million. And the price is at just over 38 cents, 5,680 Satoshis. Its market cap at the moment is down, as are all the alts, as we're bleeding in a bear market at the moment, at around $320.5 million. So it's fairly significant, a lot of volume going through it. And as we can see, it has reached, a lot higher before. It was at $1.16 there with a market cap close to $1 billion. So very impressive indeed. In terms of its other competition, Sonam is rather smaller in market cap size than Golem. Golem was obviously the more established project before Sonam launched as its almost direct rival. There are a lower supply of Sonam tokens, 444 million total supply and 360 million circulating supply. Market cap's around $71.5 million US, but volume's still pretty impressive too. And as you've seen, it's been on a bit of a pump in the last 24 hours, reaching almost 20 cents at the moment and almost 3,000 Satoshis. Now, in terms of where it's been, again, it has had highs of up to 70 cents as well. So again, just suffering as part of the tide in the overall bear market at the moment. So given that the project hard cap here is 15 million US dollars, and we've looked at the two competitors that they're squaring off against, Golem and Sonam, we can see that they've got much higher market capitalization. So there's plenty of opportunity, I feel, here, even though it is quite a competitive space, as I already mentioned, and there are a lot of new projects launching on a regular basis as well. And it would be remiss of me not to mention the big competitors like Amazon, Microsoft Azure, IBM, you name it. There's loads of cloud computing solutions out there that are offering power, storage, and bandwidth. And again, you know, they're already established, going to be very, very hard to prize the market share away from them. Okay, so let's take a look at the problems that they want to solve now. And the first one is that businesses cannot easily monetize their spare hardware. So they've got a lot of spare hardware sitting about, and it's often very, very difficult for them to get any use out of it. So this platform will allow them to utilize that hardware and hopefully earn from it. Now, in terms of the current solutions, AWS has a spot market, but it is limited. You're limited within the platform who you can buy and sell the hardware from. And of course, that is, you know, going to limit the ability that you can earn. So individuals as well are not incentivized as well at the moment, and they cannot earn from their IoT or Internet of Things devices, where, you know, this project proposes to actually incentivize people to use it and reward them as well. Now, complex infrastructure that is required for decentralized Internet of Things apps with heavy compute requirements is obviously going to be difficult logistically to implement, and also cost prohibitive as well. And they're a big barrier for deployment. Current centralized solutions not really up to the job. They're also limited in the bandwidth that they can provide as well. Again, you're looking at higher cost here, and they are too costly. Well, current blockchain equivalents are too costly to do microtransactions for Internet of Things use cases. If you look at, for example, Ethereum, the gas cost of Ethereum to actually perform these tiny transactions for Internet of Things is just too cost prohibitive at the moment. And again, delays in the finality of the block validation make the current blockchain solutions unusable for many use cases, especially Internet of Things as well. So a new, faster chain is needed, and they propose to use directed acyclic graph technology and the Nebulous platform to achieve those aims. So the aims of DeepCloud AI are to build this AI-driven decentralized cloud computing platform that's going to run decentralized applications specifically for Internet of Things and Web 3.0 decentralized apps. Now, they're going to have a spot market, which means you'll be able to trade your computing and storage resources either as an individual or an enterprise level user. You'll also be able to utilize the AI matching engine function, which will allow you to find the best suitable solution for your needs. All the apps will be executed in this secure sandbox as well on a peer-to-peer platform. All transactions are managed via the blockchain on smart contracts, and they'll also be offering a decentralized apps marketplace as well. So the value proposition here is to provide this two-sided marketplace, the network resource providers on one side and the dApp developers on the other, basically putting them together to allow the network resource providers to utilize their untapped resources and also give the dApp developers the resources they need for developing on the platform. Cloud computing expenditure is growing at 4.5 times the rate of IT spending since 2009, and it's expected to grow at more than 6 times the rate of IT spending from 2015 through to 2020 and beyond. Now, there's a prediction that says the cloud computing market expects an increase from $67 billion in 2015 to a whopping $162 billion in 2020, which is a compound annual growth rate of some 19%. So we can see from the graph behind me, it is actually growing rapidly, and the requirement for cheaper decentralized cloud computing solutions is growing all the time, and there's a clamor for it at the moment, and this appears to be where a lot of these projects see a lot of potential. So in terms of the global Internet of Things market, it's projected to grow from $2.99 trillion in 2014 to $8.9 trillion in 2020. Now that's, again, almost a 20% compound annual growth rate. So the market here for this kind of technology, if they can implement, is massive. So the blockchain they're going to be using eventually is the Nebulous platform. Now this is interesting because there's not many projects I've come across anyway that are utilizing this. So this is one of the first, I believe it's the first one I've reviewed that's going to use Nebulous. So all eyes will be on this. Now, Nebulous, in comparison with the behemoths such as Ethereum and even EOS, is pretty maligned at the moment. It's got some interest, but it's nowhere near the market capitalization or the size of the others. Circulating supply is fairly low at 45.5 million. Total supply only 100 million, and it presents even a little bit of a bargain in itself at the moment. Now, from what I do know of it, it just launched their mainnet, so it was an ERC20 Ethereum placeholder token, but now it's actually moved over on its own mainnet with its own wallet. So they're having a developer competition, if you like, at the moment, and they are offering prizes in Nebulous tokens for those developers that can provide solutions and build on top of the platform. So check them out on the website. But back to our project at the moment, which is also offering an ERC20 placeholder token, and that is DeepCloud. So there's no demo at the moment, but what they intend to provide is a blockchain on the Nebulous platform with the AI matching engine in the stack that you can see behind me as well. So basically, the whole concept behind this is to have a competitive advantage in the AI matching engine over the rivals, but also have this matching system between enterprises or businesses that have excess hardware resources and developers who require those resources for building decentralized applications for Internet of Things and Web 3.0 applications. So the goal here is to basically build this self-organizing distributed network platform through the artificial intelligence matching engine. Now, that will basically have a focus on distributed cloud infrastructure on the blockchain instead of just building a specific service like a database as a service, if you like, or an unused storage platform, which is again another competitive advantage over the rivals. So this project's got all the buzzwords. They're going to be implementing sharding, side chains, master nodes, and network contributor nodes. So it's going to be based on the architecture that was first seen in Dash. And as you've probably noticed from my channel in the recent weeks, I've been getting more and more into master nodes, and I think they're quite a good hedge against the volatility of cryptocurrency because they continue to earn whether the currency is going up or down. So I have some master nodes running at the moment, and I'm always looking for new master nodes to add to my collection, and this one potentially could be added in the near future. So the master nodes work as the brain of the network. They're basically going to be able to look into all the available resources, and then the AI matching engine will dynamically configure and assign the resources based on a real-time analysis. As with many other distributed systems, there's going to be a fair incentive to utilize or provide your resources as well. So everybody who is using the network will actually be incentivized to use it. So the sharding part of it is applied to databases, basically to partition very large databases into smaller, more manageable parts, and that's what DeepCloud AI are going to utilize sharding for, because this is going to impact network performance. Now, if the databases were too big, again, the bandwidth would be sucked dry and the network would slow down. So sharding is essential in maintaining the speed, and again, a speedy, fast, distributed network is essential here, especially when we're dealing with microtransactions through Internet of Things. So another cool use for the AI technology is to configure and adjust the roles for the sidechains that's based on real-time monitoring of the network, and also an element of historical data as well. Now, the master nodes for each of these shards are linked with sidechains as well. Defining the role of the sidechains in the network will rely on the master nodes to handle basically any bottlenecks or any other issues. There will be an API for data storage for application developers to back up of their data and integrate with other decentralized storage options as well. One of the keys here is that they are wanting this to be able to integrate with other solutions. There will be an element of security as well with this platform. It will be built around Intel's SGX technology. They're also developing selective partnerships with other security providers on the application marketplace to provide a big range of services for different types of application requirements. They will also be providing this application registry, which will basically be components for decentralized apps that will help speed up the development for application developers as well. So they'll be able to access those through the marketplace. So the Deep token is an ERC20 Ethereum-based token initially. It's just a placeholder token that will be swapped over for the mainnet token sometime in the future when the mainnet goes live. Now, what holding the Deep token will allow you to do is access the DeepCloud AI network itself. You'll also be able to utilize premium feature if you are a high-end user. It will be the payment means between the network users and the application developers, and also the network resource providers and the application marketplace providers too. You will be able to stake them, I believe, for a masternode, but there are no details available yet on proof of stake or masternode requirements at all. So you'll be able to trade the token on the exchanges, obviously, after the ICO is complete. And you can also earn them by becoming a resource provider as well. So if you've got any spare resources, you can stick them on the network and get the tokens for them. So I'm happy to report there don't seem to be any red flags or scam warnings surrounding this project whatsoever. But if you do know different, then please post in the comments below. Remember, this is a community, and as such, we try to help each other out. So if you know of anything that I've missed, let me know. So the total supply is 200 million Deep tokens. 40% of that will go to the crowd sale, 5% to marketing, 20% to reserves, 15% for bootstrapping, 15% goes to the dev team, and 5% goes to the advisors. Now, the dev team tokens are locked for 2 years, and the advisor tokens are locked for a maximum of 6 months. So private sale, I think, has been concluded already, but bonuses were 25%. The tokens will be locked for 3 months if you participated in the private sale, which is good. Pre-sale started on the 4th of June. Now it's currently running. I think if you email them, you'll get details on how to participate, and the bonuses are 10%. The public sale will take place sometime in July, although we don't have a definitive date for that yet. So unfortunately, people from Japan, China, the US and Canada, among other prohibited nations, cannot participate in this crowd sale. Now, the token price is 25 cents, which is reasonable. The total amount of tokens, obviously, at 200 million gives this a hard cap of $15 million, which is fairly low. Soft cap's rather high at $8 million, though. But I think there's a lot of interest in this project, so they should be able to meet that. Now, they'll only be accepting Ethereum during the crowd sale. Unsold tokens will be burned, and they're also going to burn the same ratio in all other segments of the pie chart behind me as well to make it more fair. So the bounty campaign is going to happen, I believe, but they've not got any details about it as yet. So we'll need to wait on that. And they are going to have an airdrop of some description as well. Whether that happens before the ICO or afterwards, we'll need to wait and see. But they do have funds in reserve for an airdrop as well once the project has gone through its crowdfunding stage and is in development. So the roadmap is about vague on when the mainnet's going to be launched. It does say Q3 2018, but it's a big jump from the testnet being launched in August to just launching the mainnet off the back of it. I think they probably need more testing than just a month or 2 months. In terms of a demo, well, we should see that sometime in July or August, at least an MVP anyway. But again, the roadmap could be a lot better. It doesn't really instill me with a lot of confidence, to be honest with you. Okay, in terms of the team then, it's not too bad. Max has a lot of experience working for large corporations, especially in IT and cloud computing solutions. Geeta, she's the CTO. She's got blockchain experience as well, which I noted on her LinkedIn page. And Joseph has quite a lot of experience as well. He's the principal AI and cloud architect behind this project. So in terms of relative industry experience, they've got it. The Chief Technology Officer has blockchain experience as well. Now, if we scroll down, we can look. They've got quite a sizable development team as well. They have 10 people that aren't mentioned, as well as the ones on the website. Advisory body is a little bit scant, but it's quite good. Hitter Zhu, you probably have heard of him. He's the founder and CEO of Nebulous itself, and he's advising them on blockchain. Vishwash is the founder and CEO of Nano Security. He is the security advisor. And Dr. Ahmed Syed, cloud computing and networking advisor. Dr. Henki Susanto is also advising them on the same thing. So in terms of partnerships, the most obvious one is Nebulous. Now, with Hitter Zhu on the advisory body as well, they're going to be deeply involved with this project. So it'll be interesting to see going forward how they actually can utilize the benefits of the Nebulous platform. They're also partnered with this TV Azteca as well, which is a internet streaming television service. I assume that they're going to be utilizing the cloud storage service that DeepCloud are going to offer. And as well, we have this Block folks. Now they're going to manage the community and take care of the PR for this project. And another partner is Blockchain Tech Team. They are a blockchain solutions development service as well. In terms of community support then, it could be a little bit better here, but hype is growing behind the project and there are more people signing up to their social media every day. They have 9,000 members on their Telegram English-speaking group at the moment, which is pretty good, and that's growing by about 150 to 200 every day. And they have about 750 followers on their Twitter. Now, as I said, community could be a little bit better in terms of support, but they are active on all the social media channels you'd expect. They've got a Medium blog and a YouTube channel as well, where I got this particularly informative video from. All right, guys, let's look at the positives I see in this ICO first off the bat. And what I like about this project, well, I like the fact they're using Nebulous. I think that's going to bring attention to the project. I'll certainly be looking at this project with interest to see how they can implement on the Nebulous platform. It does solve some pain points as well in terms of distributed cloud computing, that of cost reduction, and utilization of resources as well. In particular, it does also incentivize the user, so people will be incentivized to get on here, create and develop apps on it, and also they will be incentivized to provide their spare resources as well. Did I mention they had masternodes? I think I did several times. That's really interesting as far as I'm concerned, and I think the low market cap here of $15 million and sensible tokenomics here, you know, 200 million supply, 25-cent token. I think it's very sensible and that's very attractive as far as I'm concerned. Now, this is a massive market. If they can implement, they can potentially take a chunk of that market as well. And, you know, all right, we have the big players, the established players, Microsoft Azure, Amazon AWS, IBM, etc., etc. But, you know, there's always space for a new innovative player. And this AI resource matching that they're implementing gives them the competitive advantage, not only over what the existing you know, competition offer, but also the upcoming blockchain and decentralized competitors offer as well. Now, the team does have extensive industry experience here, and the Chief Technical Officer does have blockchain experience, and that's essential for this project if it's to succeed. 2-year lockups for the team shows a level of commitment that we don't often see elsewhere these days in other ICO money grabs. And I like the fact they're implementing a symmetrical token burn, in that if it doesn't sell out, they're going to burn all the different parts of the token distribution equally as well, which is nice. Now, the material overall is pretty well put together. It's easy to absorb, especially for a layman as well. So if you should be going to read the white paper before you contribute or invest, then you should be able to get a grip and a handle on what this project is trying to do. And I like the fact that they've considered interoperability with other decentralized and centralized solutions as well as a way forward, because I think that could be key to them being successful. If they can integrate their system with Amazon, Microsoft, and the other players that are already established, then it could go a long way in helping this project onwards to success. Now, in terms of negatives and what I don't like about this project, there are a couple of things. The first thing is there's no GitHub, no code, there's no minimum viable product yet. And again, that's just a little bit concerning these days with so many ICO projects launching, the majority of whom are going to fail. You know, we really need to see every angle covered and every checkbox ticked, and having no code or MVP at this stage, especially when they're considering launching the ICO in July, is a bit, you know, leaving it a little bit late, I would say, guys, yeah? The other thing that's a potential risk here is it's a competitive space with established heavy hitters already, so they're going to have to work very, very hard in order to get any market space here. It's essentially a white paper ICO as it stands, and again, you know how I am with white paper ICOs. Now, there's no details being released on private sales or pre-sale amounts that they've sold. We'll get those details later, but again, it's something to bear in mind when you're contributing at the main sale. Now, roadmap itself is a bit vague. You know, they could have been a bit more detailed in the roadmap. It's not the greatest. It could have been a bit more detailed about mainnet release and, you know, in terms of when they're going to do that. I like to be aware. I like to have dates. It just seems a little bit lackluster to me. Now, it's ICO winter at the moment, and that's not going to be kind to any projects that are trying to launch. Let's hope for a change of season. Let's hope for a springtime or a summertime when this project goes on exchanges. But you've got to be aware it is going to be difficult. A lot of ICOs are launching now, especially big hype ones. Sentinel Protocol is one. We saw that launch, and it's currently at under ICO price. In fact, Sentinel Protocol is at pre-sale price at the moment. So again, ICO winter not being kind to the majority of projects. So let's look at the potential gains and what I think this might do given the market and taking into account previous similar projects. So in an ultra bearish environment, I think this could get hammered because of the token price, and people are always focused on the token price, not necessarily the market capitalization of a worthwhile project. So I think this could lose 50% or maybe more in an ultra bearish environment because, again, we've seen other hyped ICOs not doing particularly well at all. In a bearish environment, again, not going to be kind to this project. It will lose, I would consider, probably around 30%. Now, if we turn bullish and we get a little bit of a ICO spring, I can see this doing a 5x. The reason is I'm comparing it directly with Sonam, and that's on a run at the moment. And this project could do something similar with a 15 million market cap if they reach hard cap at the crowd sale. I think a 5x for this project is quite easily achievable. Now, in an ultra bearish, a perma bullish market, motorcycles going past outside. I can't hear myself think. A perma bullish market, I think this could achieve easily a 30x. You know, $500 million market cap for this project, if it implements medium to longer term, is quite achievable here, providing we get that overall market cap of 1 trillion or more that we're all looking out for. Now, this project's quite exciting, but does it have the hype to flip? I'm not so sure about that, so I'm on the fence about flipping at the moment. As far as hodling's concerned, I think you should hodl, but you should also be taking advantage of gains on the way up, because we've seen Sonam and Golem be quite volatile. You know, it's been a seesaw ride for them. They're up and down, especially Golem, all the time, and I think this could be potentially the same. So take advantage of those gains when you can get them. So let's look at the scores on the doors. It's marks out of 10 in 12 different categories. It's my ICO scoring metrics. Now, presentation and pitch is good, but it's not spectacular. It gets a solid 7 out of 10. Competitiveness, well, in terms of its blockchain competitors, its decentralized competition, this has the advantage with the AI matching engine. But again, it's up against some heavy hitters like Amazon, Microsoft, and IBM, so it scores a 7 out of 10. Can it solve any problems? Can it actually eliminate some pain points? I think it does fairly well here, so it gets an 8 out of 10. In terms of disruptive, to the market, I think it is quite disruptive, and it gets another 8 out of 10. Blockchain and tech lets it down though. Nebulous saves it in this category, but again, no demo, no MVP, so we don't know what's going to happen here, and we're giving it a 5 out of 10. In terms of token use, it's what you'd expect from this, so an average 7 out of 10. Tokenomics are pretty good here. The low hard cap, reasonable token price, and low total supply of 200 billion give this a decent 8 out of 10. Community and hype is still lacking. It could be better, so 6 out of 10 here. Roadmap going forward, again, kind of vague with the roadmap. Could have done better again, 6 out of 10. Team and advisory body is pretty good, but nothing spectacular in my opinion. They do have industry experience, however, and they do have blockchain experience, at least the chief technical officer does, so they get a solid 7 out of 10. Partnerships are good, but nothing out of this world. Again, 6 out of 10. Fair play here, well, I don't have details on how many tokens were sold during the private or pre-sale yet, so I have to give them the benefit of the doubt here, and I'm going to give them 7 out of 10 here, and there you go, there are the scores. So final verdict time, and how does it rate out of 10? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. Well, it's another very under the radar promising project with good tokenomics, but it's let down by a lack of an MVP or a demo. Hopefully that will be resolved by the time we get to crowd sale. So it gets a 7 out of 10. Very solid, very good project indeed. Now, will I be applying for a bounty here? Yes, if they do have a bounty campaign. They've not launched yet, but if they do, I will apply for it. Why not? And will I be investing in this project? I believe this presents a very good opportunity. So yes, I will plan to invest in this project at the crowd sale stage. So that score of 7 out of 10 takes DeepCloud AI into joint second position on my spreadsheet leaderboard. Now, it is building up now. We've got a few projects getting added, but unfortunately, the ICOs I want to review, they don't have complete details, so it's pointless reviewing them. I've seen other YouTubers, I've said this before, jumping in head first to review projects without token economics, without token prices, without other details, even projects without a white paper yet. Just utterly ridiculous. So that is my minimum requirement to review an ICO. As you can see here, this is my upcoming projects list, and most of them are amber because they just don't have the criteria to make a full review on them at all. So Cambria and Decenturion were added today, and we'll see how they go. And a lot of other ones there that I want to review, but again, just not got the full details. So well done on DeepCloud AI. It gets into joint second position with a 7 out of 10 score overall, so that's pretty good, and I'll continue to add more projects to the spreadsheet. If you want to download the spreadsheet, it's available on my Telegram channel. Link to that is down in the description below. And that is about it for the review. So thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it as usual. If you enjoyed the video, please do give us a like, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do so now by clicking on that subscribe button and click on that bell notification icon, and you'll get notified when I upload new ICO reviews, much like this one. So all that's left to say is my usual disclaimer that I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please bear in mind that ICOs and cryptocurrency does pose inherent risk. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. And please, guys, always do your own due diligence and always do your own research. Get as much information from as many sources as you possibly can to help you make a balanced decision on what you're going to do. And always invest cautiously and always invest wisely as well. Don't rush in. Only fools rush in, and only fools listen to shillers on YouTube. So that's me done for today, guys. I'm off down the pub. See you later on. Bye-bye.